What's good, everybody? It's your boys, Travis, Kane, and TJ. Welcome back to the TKT podcast. We got all three of us on this week. It's been like a wild, probably like 5 or 6 episodes where we don't know if we're having TJ. We had a fucking episode where everybody's in Minnesota. We forgot about it like 10 times. And anyways, we're here. I think this is episode 35 now. 34 somehow didn't get on Spotify, but it was on YouTube. So it still counts that we've done it every week. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. But that's now on there now at the time of recording this because we didn't know about it until right now that it wasn't on there. But anyways, guys, how was your week?
It was boring, bro. I mean...
Yeah, we were all talking before this that our weeks were relatively unscathed.
I've literally just been working and sleeping.
TJ, you had a story you wanted to share?
Yeah. You said you want to tell us
something? Douchebags. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I guess so. So I got this big ass cut on my face.
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
And everyone's been fucking asking me, like, yo, dude, what the fuck happened? And it was wild. I got into a small altercation at fucking Stewie's because this fucking asshole. So my Infinity, right? So the gas thing is on the driver's side. Like, it's on the opposite, like, same fucking...
Yeah,
so I have to pull up opposite of what everyone else pulls up to the pump, which pisses people off.
Me too, because I have a Beamer.
Yeah, so you get it.
Yeah.
And which pisses people off normally, because then I'm fucking backwards compared to everyone else, and I'm like, sorry.
And like they'll pull up to the front, and you got a guy parked behind you, you can't do anything. Yeah, happens all the time.
Exactly. So I'm trapped in the middle, and I'm like, motherfucker, back up. And he's like, well, I'm waiting for the fucking pump, man. I'm waiting for the fucking pump. And I'm like, yeah, so how about you let me fucking leave? So then he gets all up in my face and shit. And I'm like, dude, chill the fuck. I'm like, it's like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to fill up and go home. That's all I was trying to do.
Just trying to make it home. Just enough, you know?
I just, just got out of work. It's like 7:45 in the morning. And I'm like, dude, I don't even have nothing. I'm running on E right now. And this motherfucker is in my face,
yourself
bro.
And the car.
Yeah, can't do it. Struggling. And my car just fucking wouldn't start, so I had to get it jumped from a coworker.
Damn.
So I was on my way home.
You're like,
from
fingers
doing that.
crossed you can leave.
Yeah, so I was like, hopefully this starts again. Meanwhile, this dude behind me in this big ass fucking yee mobile, this stupid ass lifted truck. Oh my god! And he's just fucking, and he smacks shit out of me, just out of the blue.
No, you just got a cut on your face.
Well,
yeah.
Like, how'd you retaliate, bro?
I'm not gonna lie. I did kick him like really fucking hard, but like that was it. I was trying to get the fuck out of there.
Right.
I mean, the last thing I would want to do is get in a fight at a Stewart's. Like,
yeah.
What a shitty place to get in a fight. And it's not like inside. You're at the gas pump.
Yeah, it was questionable age where like it's almost to the point
if
where
you
it's
beat
like,
his ass, you're like, damn, I just beat a 50-year-old guy.
Yeah. So I just kind of like gave him like a.
But
John
then also,
Jones
if you get beat,
you know
like
what I mean?
You just got beat by a 50-year-old man, or like Andy slapped you, so it's like, how serious is this fight? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, how
So
deep do I have to take this?
Yeah. So I try to keep it. So I don't know.
Just to clarify, this entire story is absolutely falsified. It's just a pimple on TJ's face.
Yeah.
I was say, all right, now, TJ, what's the real story?
All right, they told me to do all that shit for the memes, but if you believed it, then I'm pretty good at gaslighting. Anywho, the real story is I had this massive pimple on my face that was like the size of fucking I don't even know.
Mount Vesuvius? Yeah, like, what are we talking
about? Yeah, like, it's just massive. And I too aggressively tried to pop it and literally just, like, caved a section of my face off. That's what actually happened.
So, like, your finger, like, slipped and you're like...
Yeah, and
damn,
I just basically,
your
like...
fucking nails, bro?
They're not. I was just... There was a lot of force.
Got some fucking talons.
Yeah, I was going in.
And start squeezing out fucking tissue, like...
Let me tell you, though... If I fucking posted that shit on TikTok, 1,000,000 views, man.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, dude. That's
Oh, it
like
was
the
crazy.
biggest niche on the
Yeah.
planet right now.
It was crazy. I would have went viral with it, but
No doubt.
that was pretty much what happened.
Gotcha.
Kane, I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
I saw that you went in on your day off again, bro.
Yeah.
Now, I know in the car business, that happens quite a bit.
Yeah.
But with you, it seems to happen
like
a bit more.
like every fucking
Every
Tuesday.
week.
The worst part is, man, so like 90% of the time when you going on your day off, like there's no guarantee it's a cardio, right? And like today was one of those days. Ended up working out, ended up selling the car. Great couple, by the way. Like they were super awesome to deal with. Tom, if you hear this, bro, appreciate it. Thank you so much for your business. Like super cool guy. Was actually from upstate New York, had a 315 area code and shit. Like
Wow.
super cool guy. But
No shit.
again, like you said, with the car business, you occasionally have to go on your day off. And this is like the third Tuesday of the month, and I work 2 out of the 3, and I'm taking next Tuesday off because Haley's dad's come down. Which, by the way, we're gonna have Billy on the pod next week, guys. Just to clarify, we're gonna do
Nice.
that next Monday or Tuesday. We'll record or whatever's easiest for them while they're down there to get that done. So yeah, man, it just sucked. Like today, again, I went in, I sold a car, but like last Tuesday, went in, didn't end up getting the deal, and ended up being a deal later on the week, but. I always try to make it to where, like, hey, if I wake up early enough, I can do some of the stuff I need to in the morning. But the way it kind of worked out was I was up pretty late last night doing a bunch of stuff instead of doing it in the morning. So I slept till 10, got in at 11, guys showed up at noon, got back home at 4, and I've just been doing shit ever since. Like I wrote that article I posted today for 366 Sports, which if you haven't checked that out, make sure you check that out. The Steelers traded for Allen Robinson today.
Did they
So I
really?
did like a instant analysis on that. And I did my first ever jersey swap edit, like picture, like how you always see like them post on ESPN. Yeah, that was fucking difficult as shit. That was fun to do.
Yeah, dude, football's
But-
got to be even harder than
So I
basketball,
luckily found a picture of Allen Robinson without a helmet on, like looking halfway decent, so I could swap a jersey instead of the helmet because that shit would have been way too hard. But yeah, man, it just sucks. Like I hate.
I'm going to look right now so you can get my live reaction on it.
All right, weird.
What was it for? Like a 7th round pick or something?
So we traded a 7th round pick for him and their 7th round pick. So our 7th round pick was like I think it was like 126. Theirs was like 154. So we had an early pick. They have a late one, and then we got Allen Robinson, and that was
Allen Robinson's good,
And-
bro. I don't know, like
and we only had to
That's a
pay
good hit.
right like a
picture,
solid
bro.
edit, right? And we only had to pay $5 million of his remaining contract. They have to pay like 10.5. So that's
no
solid.
shit.
Yeah, we have an extra $5 million receiver who can be our third wideout. I'm pretty excited about it.
That's a big pickup.
Yeah, I just had to do a lot today, bro. And like tomorrow's 9 to 8. It's a bell to bell shift, so that sucks. But I mean, I'm used to it, I guess.
That's tough.
Damn.
Yeah.
That is tough. That's a long time.
And like I'm not gonna get into like everything with my occupation, but like it's not necessarily the car business reason as to why things are going on right now, to where we're not making the income we were making a year ago, which granted the car business has changed a ton. So like that has played a factor, but like other stipulations have come up throughout work that's making it a lot tougher. And this isn't just like, oh, I'm not selling cars because I'm selling cars. Like that's not what I'm trying to get at. But I can't really talk about it on the pod because I mean I don't want to get in trouble or anything like that.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I'm not the only one that's kind of going through some shit with our current pay plan. So we're trying to resolve that situation because there's no reason why somebody should be selling a shit ton of cars and not making a shit ton of money type thing. So yeah, it just kind of sucks a little bit. They've made some changes since we moved, and it's just not necessarily the best changes for the salesman, more of the best changes for the store type thing.
Yikes.
Yup. What'd you guys do this week? I heard you guys went golfing. How'd that go? Still have yet to actually go golfing, so.
We went golfing for sure.
So you said you shot 9 holes. What was the over? I'm not even gonna say under. Hold on. Can I guess? Can you give me a hint? I'll guess over under for each of you. Give me a hint.
I have no idea, bro. We didn't even keep track.
I kept a mental track in my head. But
Okay, but like, how bad was it?
Yeah, but
I mean,
bad.
it was bad.
Okay,
Bad.
what was the par? Do you remember? Like, what was 9-hole par? 36. It's typically like
I'm just gonna
30 to
assume.
40.
Yeah, I'll say like 38. I'm just
All
gonna
right, so
assume.
you shot at least a 50.
Oh yeah, I shot a 7 on the first hole.
Oh my God, buddy.
It was par 4.
Oh, fair. Okay. Just a little triple bogey. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean,
Dude,
I hadn't played golf though since my 21st back in September. So
damn. Yeah, I
like
really
I
want to
never
go, bro, but
swung my clubs, nothing.
I was going to say, do you guys all just play with the same set, or do you guys like each have your own?
I have my own set, and we went with Dallas. Shout out Dallas for honestly getting a hold of the place, seeing if we can go and all that shit.
Yeah.
Because it's still early for golf, technically.
Yeah, up there.
Then,
But
bro, he gave me like a full set of clubs for free.
Damn, what the fuck? That's fire.
And then
Yeah,
TJ gave me a golf bag.
I gave him my old bag, and then Dallas had a bunch of clubs. What do you need now? Just like
I don't know.
driver?
I don't know
Yeah, he
enough
doesn't
about
even
golf.
know.
Yeah, I have like
I just know that I did pretty well, considering I haven't touched a golf club in like 10 years.
Yeah, bro. Like I got given and not a set by any means. It was literally like one. I got a 5-iron, a 3-wood, and then what? That this shows you how old it is. It's still called a 1-wood, like instead of a driver. So they had drivers and then they had 1-woods, which were essentially the same thing. And so I have I have a 1-wood, a putter, and like a 5-iron in my closet from an old coworker when I worked at our Ford store. And yeah, just
No shit.
so I just go to Topgolf and way overspend to just launch balls at a driving range. And I need to
Dude,
buy
I
a
go
set.
back and forth.
I need to go to like Goodwill, man. Like I feel like
Dude, yeah, like
they just got some
Salvation
cheap ass
Army,
clubs.
like those type of places. They
just
have
like
golf
sets
clubs
for cheap.
for
Because
cheap,
like
man.
everyone knows golf clubs are worth money, so no one just gives them for free anymore. You know what I mean? Like unless they already have a set, and people that have sets know what their old set's worth, so then they sell it on like Facebook. I just can't find a set, man.
Yeah, I got lucky, man. I got lucky with my set of clubs.
Really?
Yeah, because when my mom and her ex broke up, he already had a set of clubs that he used like every day.
Yeah.
And he had this backup set that was just sitting in the garage. And he's like, "Are you going to use these or should I sell them?" And I was like, "Dude, give them to me."
Yeah, like you
I was
can
like, "That's
never
the only thing."
say no to a set of golf clubs, man.
Yeah, I was like, "That's the
Can't.
only thing holding me back from playing is because a set of golf clubs will run you like fucking 500-600, all brand new."
Yeah, like for fucking cheap, dude. Like a cheap set now. I was talking with my coworker because we are oddly enough talking about how we need to get together and go golfing. And so he has like a really nice set and he had a backup, but he had sold it last year. And he was like, "Why don't you just go to like Dick's and get like a cheap set for like $100?" I was like, "A cheap set at Dick's now is like $250, $300. Like the top flight brand, like the basic you ground that club once and the driver head's flying off. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
it's 250, like $300. Like I can't justify it, man. Can't
Bro,
justify
I
it.
go back and forth. I can't tell if I like golf or not.
It's so much fun.
I don't
love
know.
watching it now. I
Oh,
feel
I
like
love
that's
it,
how I
dude.
know I'm getting older. Is like I love watching golf.
Yo,
It just
speaking of
seems too
golf,
boring.
it's mad funny. I see Kane. You and I be fucking reposting Tiger Woods TikToks
All the
time,
time,
bro.
dude. Yes. I'll like it. And it'll pop up saying you reposted it, and it'll request if I want to do it. And I'll be like, yeah.
And then I'll see it, and I'll be like, "Fuck yeah, Kane! Fuck yeah!"
Wondering
bro.
why you're getting a pre-liked fucking TikTok on your FYP again. Fucking
I'll be like, "What the fuck is this?"
yeah. But I
Yeah,
don't know, man. Golf is so much fun. Like the Masters is such a great time to watch. That was 2 weeks ago. That was so much fun. The U.S. Open is like
I
coming
think
up.
it's dude. The sport itself isn't that much fun if you think about it because it is
No, like
brutal.
So that's what reminded me of it when what you guys reminded me of talking about this is I saw a video the other day on TikTok and I think it was Michael Strahan talking about it and he was basically just like man, I was super nervous. Like, I was scared to go out and do it. And one of my really good friends was like, fuck it, dude, just come out. And I played 18 holes, and then we played another 18 holes, and I was like, I fucking fell in love with the sport. And you want to know why I fell in love with the sport? Because everyone fucking sucks at it.
Everyone sucks,
and he was like,
man.
So when I went out there and sucked, and he went out there and sucked, I was like, this is for me, man. Like, you're supposed to suck at golf. That's what makes it fun. Like, you're supposed to get mad.
Yeah,
it's a passionate sport.
The only shitty part is if your friends are good at golf and you're not good, then you feel like you're holding everyone up the whole time. That's a little tough.
I don't care.
But it's more about just going out on the course, enjoying some brews, and chilling for a couple hours playing rather than being good.
Yeah. I think
I think that's why I'm leaning towards like I don't like it more than I do, because I want to be good at something that I'm wasting my time on. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm going to waste my time, I want it to be on something I'm good at.
I mean, like, for sure, but, I mean, think about when you first started playing basketball, man. Like, you weren't as good as you are now.
Yeah, like, you put in work to be good.
But, like, I mean, Tiger Woods started playing when he was, like, fucking 2 years old. Like, we're starting to play in our mid-20s, bro. Like, we're...
Yeah.
You gotta remember the prime for golf, like 40s, bro.
Probably. Yeah.
That's when you're, like, gonna be prime. So you got 20 years. 20 years to get good.
Beautiful.
How does that sound?
That's always the other problem, is just how expensive
you could be pro by then.
Yeah.
You could.
Maybe you have an untapped talent. It's just about finding it, bro. It's just about finding it.
Maybe.
That's the only problem for me, is how much you have to pay to play golf compared to just, like, showing up at a public park and playing basketball.
Yeah, like that you're right, because I mean, what, you guys went to this place and it was a $10 green fee or something like that. You said it was pretty
which
cheap.
is extremely cheap.
Like, yeah, I can't tell you the last time I heard of a green fee being below like $35 or $40. Every time I talk to somebody, it's like, oh, green fee is 75, or oh, it's 40, or you know what I mean, plus cart. Yeah. And if you can get a green fee sub 45. You're like, okay, you don't expect like pro level by any means on any course, but if I pay $50 to play 18 holes,
it should be a decent.
I can go with a group of friends. Say me and 3 friends go play 18 holes. It's the green fee and the 2 cart rentals. It's going to be cheaper for us to go eat at the 9th hole, like eat at the clubhouse and drink, than it is to, and that's going to be 4, 5, 6 hours. Like it's a day. As opposed to going to Topgolf for 2 hours is going to be fucking $300-400.
Yeah.
Because Topgolf
$300 for Topgolf?
Topgolf for an hour is like $60 an hour. Unless you go on half price Tuesdays, then it's like fucking 30 price an hour.
What?
Yeah, plus like food, drinks. So I mean, you're talking 120 just for the bay.
I didn't know that.
And then drinks are $10-15. Burgers are $10 to $15. Like, it's pretty expensive to go to Topgolf. Like, that's why we stopped going so much, because it's just like, this really isn't the worth the money. Like, I found out I like golf. Now I just want to get a set of clubs and go golfing and suck forever. Like,
I'm done.
But if you want to go with like a big group, Topgolf's definitely the way to go. Like, if you want to go with like 10 friends, or like go with with your workers, like your coworkers, get like 20 people to go, then go to Topgolf. Don't go to a course. It just doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? Whereas Topgolf, you can get in fucking 5 bays, 4 bays, 6 people each, and you're in and out in 2 hours. You don't have to wait, and everybody gets to have a good time. Everybody has a couple drinks, but it is expensive.
See, that's the thing. If you're going to a course, you got to have like less than 8.
I would say less than 6.
Then you need the back-to-back,
if not 4
tee time.
Yeah. And I don't want a group. Like, if I have a
lot
group,
of
it's no more than like 6.
Do that anyways.
Yeah.
Like, if you have more than 4 or maybe 5, they don't let you.
Yeah, because you literally have to schedule back-to-back tee times, 15 minutes apart, or however long the tee times are apart at whatever course you go to, and pray that you guys are still quick enough to stay ahead of that next 15-minute delay. Because you're still playing 8 people. Like, you see, like, Good and all them play with like 10 people on a hole, and it's
They're
like, holy shit, yeah, like, they're still cooking, but even then, you also realize that there's almost nobody else at this fucking course right now. Like, they book like 3 or 4 or 5 fucking tee times just to maintain ahead of everybody else. they do the drone flyovers and shit, and it's literally just 2 carts going down the side and whatnot. But I love golf, man.
They used to be so much better.
Yeah. I used to love Good, man. I haven't watched their videos in a long time.
I haven't either.
I have no idea who that is.
That's how I really got into golf. Like when I first
Me
moved down
too,
here, was I
actually.
started watching Good.
Yeah, it's like just a group of friends. I mean,
It's literally just a
now.
group of friends that like are almost good enough to go pro, that played in college but like weren't good enough to go pro, so they started making YouTube videos, and now like 3 or 4 of them left to try and go pro.
They're like elite
Yeah.
casual players, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like they're
Like
really
elite
fucking
amateurs,
good.
but not.
Oh, and Rick Shields too. I love that guy. He's super fun. He's British, so he plays at like all the other fucking courses over there. But he's really cool.
That's
Shout out to them on YouTube if you guys haven't checked them out, but you like golf. Those are the people I recommend. Travis, you also had something you wanted to talk about as well.
Yeah, I can't remember what day it was. I think it was 2 nights ago, maybe. I took a pit stop at your house.
Yeah.
Well, your sister had snapped me, told me that there was gonna be a fire. So
Mhm.
what do? I text the legend.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, "Is it cool if I pop by?" I would say I know it is, but it's a respect thing. I'm always gonna ask. Sure. And so I pop over, and he's telling me that he's listening to the podcast, and he told me the previous one we did where I was talking about Chris and getting off the exit and stuff. Me and him were chuckling about that for about like 40 minutes.
Jesus.
Like, yeah, just going back and forth. And
oh shit, I gotta.
So then he told me something that you said. I'm trying to remember what it was. He's gonna be mad that I don't remember. He's gonna be like, "Unit, you fucking bastard," or something like that.
You had one job.
Yeah, it was. He saw something about. I think there's actual like controlled birds now.
Yeah, bro.
And he said like, "Oh boy, wait till Kane fucking finds out about that."
Yeah, dude, I've been telling you guys, bro. They're listening to the fucking podcast, bro. Everything like I've said has been coming true. I saw this fucking thing. Speaking of like wild ass conspiracies, you guys are gonna fucking love this. It was actually they talked about it on the Joe Rogan podcast like a super long time ago. It actually maybe it wasn't. I don't really listen to that podcast a lot, but it was like a clip, and it's like of this one kid who's talking about when they like started up the like Atom fucking thing. I don't even know what it's called. TJ, are you going to work, buddy?
Yeah, I gotta get going, guys.
All right, buddy. You have a great night at work, buddy.
Yeah, you guys enjoy the rest of the pod.
I see you in the morning.
Later,
I'll talk to you boys later.
Peace. It's like, oh, I gotta switch to this one here real quick. Hold up, wait a minute. Gotta switch to the other transition. There we go. Little impromptu scene switch, no big deal. Not for us at the TKT broadcast booth here. Fucking, I'm trying to think what it's called, like the CERN like generator or whatever. You know what that is?
No.
They can only start it up like once every few years because they have to build up enough like power stored to be able to fucking run it and shit. And the first time it started, yeah, dude, you'll have to do a lot of research because I haven't. Maybe I'll do research and bring it up next week on the podcast. But basically, it's this young kid. He's like 16, and he's going over like how essentially when this started, it started a multi-universal thing, like a multiverse, and he basically just like breaks it all down on this like huge scale of like certain events, and that when it started, all it takes is the universe to be one atom off to jump it into a parallel universe type shit. And it's this long ass video. It's super cool. Like if you're nerdy and shit. And
I actually like that stuff a lot, bro.
yeah, it's an interesting video to watch because you're like, holy shit. And the guy says in the video, if you go and watch it, pay attention to everything for like 5 to 6 months after that and be like, yeah, that's fucking weird. Like that's fucking wild. Or just seeing like Mandela effects and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that when like the Berenstain Bears, things like in that aspect that we all distinctively remember, and they've changed, which, you know, we all have faulty memories and whatnot, but when you watch this video, it makes you think over the next like 5 to 6 months when you see shit like that never happened before, like the acorn thing or like these birds. Like,
right.
I distinctively said out loud, man, I cannot tell you the last time I saw like an actual pigeon, and then it happened. And I will still say I have not seen a fucking acorn in forever, bro. When was the last time anyone saw a fucking acorn? And like we're noticeably like, let me pick that up, like, you know.
Right.
And granted,
Yeah.
I do live in a metropolitan area, but I cannot pinpoint the last time that I was like, ooh, an acorn. Holy shit, there's an acorn. Or like, and I know it's something stupid, bro. I get it.
You said, I get it.
But what? I'll have to find the video, and I'm going to send it to you so we all can watch it before next week's episode. And then just pay attention to the shit that happens. Because it's fucking wild, bro. We talk about these birds and shit, and now remote-controlled birds.
Yeah, dude. Somehow you keep on.
I'm telling you, dude.
On.
They're listening, bro. They're fucking listening, dude. And I will say, we talked about it before the podcast, like, all this shit is just for content. I know the moon's real and shit, but it's just, It's so cool to think about. I recently posted a video on YouTube about Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game and how it is honestly so wild that there is not documented footage of that game. And granted, it's super early in the NBA. There weren't a lot of televised games, but it was also one of the greatest athletes of all time. A lot of his games were televised, but were not reel-to-reel, or they were only radio broadcasted, which is fine. But like the radio broadcast had thought to have been lost until 18 years after the 100-point game. And even then it was taped over to the point where you only had the last 3 minutes of the game and the moment he scored 100 points. There's just so many like little factors that add into that conspiracy that make me want to just say like, yeah, that's fucking real. And that's why like if you really do research into like Australia not being real or like the earth is flat, you'd be like, damn, people go hard for this shit. Like people actually believe this shit. And that's what makes it funny as shit, because you can just say it, whether you believe it or not, and just be like, yeah, the moon's fake. Because, like, you can go on the internet and just see all these pages and forums about how the moon isn't real and that Australia is actually a much larger landmass, or New Zealand's a much larger landmass underneath the ocean, and with global warming, it's raised the water levels. And I saw this other video about Pangea. When you see a video or a picture of Pangea, it looks like they're all like kind of twisted and together, but in reality, like all of Central America is missing on a lot of the pictures. Like when I say Central America, I mean like Mexico, Panama, like missing, just not on the map, and nobody's ever noticed. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like I can't pull up a picture on here, but it's crazy to think people just genuinely believe all that shit.
I was gonna say, yeah, dude, you can go on the internet and find legitimate articles.
A wild ass conspiracy,
bro.
And be like, damn, this guy actually believes that.
But then the crazy part is like some of it, like as crazy as it can be, could make sense.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So there's these wild ass timelines, not in this multiverse thing. This is actual true shit.
Right.
Of like Cleopatra has lived closer to the invention of the cell phone than the building of the pyramids, or like I'm trying to think of like the big one, like dinosaurs. The people that were signing the Declaration of Independence had no idea dinosaurs existed. Like, no clue. No one had discovered dinosaurs yet.
Right.
And actually, I just saw on Twitter today from Daily Loud, so, I mean, take this with a grain of salt. I don't know how researched their shit is, but there's a lot of evidence showing that Vikings came to North America and settled 500 years before Christopher Columbus, quote-unquote, discovered it. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at those multiverse things and those timeline things, and then you sit back and think, Betty White was only 7 years older than like Anne Frank or something like that. Just wild ass timeline statistics, and you can really just dive into pretty much any subject and be like, well, that really could be true.
You're like, there's a chance.
Yeah, and me and my Anthony actually were talking the other day about
How's
like
he doing? I haven't talked to him.
He's doing good, buddy. I mean, I talk to him like every day. I mean, obviously I work with him, but he's doing all right.
Yeah.
But we were talking the other day about kind of, you look at the Industrial Revolution, and because we were talking about this whole timeline list of, there was a guy that was born in like 1890, lived to 1990. Like, he lived 100 years. He lived through every major war. He lived through every major invention. Like, you know what I mean? He saw some of the first cars come to North America, the like in-depth cell phones and computers, the microwave, the vacuum, like shit like that. And then I look at today and I'm like, man, we've had a lot of cool inventions, but we really didn't invent anything. We just enhanced everything else we had. Like, we made computers way smarter. You have a computer like in the size of your cell phone that fits in your pocket, that's stronger. This is a wild fact that I heard the other day. Your cell phone has more processing power and computing power than what put men on the moon.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like, that's fucking wild, right? It's so fucking crazy that your cell phone, like your handheld computer, had more processing power than the computer that put men on the moon. Fucking insane, right? And when,
that's crazy.
Again, we were just talking about all of it, and it's like, we haven't created or invented, like, okay, we've gotten somewhat autonomous driving and whatnot, but they were saying in 2010 we were going to have flying cars. They were saying all this other crazy stuff, and you look at items now, household items are computers. Household items like internet is essentially a necessity in today's day and age. I don't want to say necessity for the internet, but it is a large part of a lot of people's lives.
Right.
It's by far not a necessity. I don't want to say that, but I can't think of a better term for it. But you look at daily household items like a microwave. That came out in his lifetime. Saw the first one like go in his house, I'm sure with his parents, or he bought one of the first ones. VCRs, DVDs, Blu-rays, digital streaming. That's fucking wild, bro.
That is pretty wild.
I know I'm kind of like diving a little bit too far into this, but that's what sparked all my interest in this timeline stuff. Was I watched that video and I was like, holy shit. Because you look at all of that. Betty White, same thing. Lived through the Spanish flu, lived through swine flu, lived through World War II, like Vietnam, Korea, like, and that was the wild story about the guy is, it's a man who lived through every fucking major war of basically the Western civilization's history, other than the Civil War and the Revolutionary War.
Right.
Like, of Western civilization, like us, the United States. And that's crazy to think about, man. That he lived 100 years, lived through all of it, and we're just out here fucking basically undoing a lot of shit with some new laws and shit like that, you know? Like, undoing a lot of stuff that we originally fought for, and like human rights and whatnot, you know? Like, basic human rights are just being overturned. We don't need to get into that, but it stemmed all from this video of kind of how I've looked at things. Is basically completely changed.
The only thing I'm going to say is, like, I know it's 2023 and we're starting to like get a little bit farther from this time, but like all of the like cars and not inventions, but like enhancements that have been made, like it wasn't that long ago.
No, like we're talking like the 90, like we're still making enhancements to the things that we've made. But when we sit back and think, I mean, cars was 120 years ago. Like, the modern day vehicles is 100 or so years ago. The microwave, I mean, not that long ago, where it just wasn't in anyone's house, and now it's in damn near every house in America.
Right.
cell phones. I would say majority of people have them. Like more than 50% of the population of the world probably has a cell phone of some sort, let alone a smartphone. And we always kind of think about sports in this aspect, and it brings me back to the Wilt Chamberlain thing. You look at Wilt Chamberlain's time in the NBA, then you look at Bill Russell's time. That was only 20 or so years, not even, of separation from the start of the NBA to where Bill Russell fucking went on a tear. The reason why I bring that up is because I was making a video about why everybody hates the Celtics, and one of those reasons is Bill Russell. He was a dominant ass player, the only player coach of all in any major league sports to win a fucking national championship with one of the 4 major league sports. And you sit back and you think of the technology from his like rehabs and his way of being better for the next game. And you look at now, and LeBron spends multi-millions of dollars on his body each year just for like cryotherapy and shit. That fucking shit's wild too. We never needed that shit before. Ever. But we've made so many technological advancements, and that kind of brings me, this is like really in-depth conversation on a lot of this shit, but like people that don't eat meat. So there's a direct correlation with our growth as human beings at the point where we started eating meat and being like eating animals and more than just vegetables, hunter-gatherers, you know what I mean? Like more than just eating vegetables, but actually hunting.
Right.
And the direct correlation of how civilization has gone, in terms of what we can do with our bodies, what we can do in every aspect, you know what I'm saying? And people that don't eat meat look at it as we don't need that. And you're right, we don't, but our ancestors did to get us here, right? And I have nothing, this is no bash on how anybody chooses what to eat or anything like that. I support you in anything that anybody does. I don't care. But if we did all stop eating meat, it can only be assumed, like if every person on the planet stopped eating meat, it can only be assumed that eventually our civilization is going to go in the opposite direction again, like with technology and being able to move. And because at this point, we don't need meat for muscle mass or energy in the way our lives work. But eventually our brain power is not going to be able to be sufficient enough after centuries or decades of however long we've been on this planet. It will eventually start going down. It'll never be in our lifetime. It'll never be in our great-great-grandkids' lifetime that happens, but it will happen. Just like the world will eventually run out of oil. It's that simple. Like, eventually, it will. Will it happen in our lifetime? No. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't care about it either, you know? So, and no, not everyone's going to stop eating meat or anything like that, but it comes back to the conversation of, like, basic human rights. Like, we're starting to take step backwards with laws and shit of where did this timeline come from? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going backwards with like abortion laws and shit, and it makes no sense, man. It makes no sense at all.
My mom is texting me. I do gotta go help her.
All right, that's fine, man. I mean, I feel like we had a pretty good conversation tonight. I do want to talk more about this next week, so I'm going to try and find that video. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the TKT podcast, the Two Kill Time podcast. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, as well as leave a review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We upload every single Wednesday, and we will for the foreseeable future. As well as, don't forget, next week we are going to have the legendary Bill Capobianco on our podcast next week. So be ready for that and look out for that every Wednesday. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see y'all in the next one.
Later.